evening and welcome to Wargaming.net League North America World of Tanks. Tonight is the final night for qualifiers number 2, where tonight the final 4 will be determined to join the other 12 and who's going to compete in league play beginning July 11th. I'm Joshua Gray, callsign Clutch. Joining me to my right is Andre Gritorp Hengshua, as well as Randall Rukil Holcomb, who will be on telestration and expert analysis as well. One of the best scouts in North America, let alone the world, and also a great dancer, as we have all found out recently. First off, we have had an amazing series so far from these last couple of days. A lot of them have been 3-0 shutouts, honestly.
That's right.
But it all comes down to this, Gritorp, and I feel that these teams are completely ready to give it their best shot.
That's right. And, you know, a lot of people might have said this is going to be a little bit easy for some of these teams going in 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. But even Ermagerd Kernavern, they didn't have the easiest time approaching the round of 8 again. Remember, again, they lost to Cazadores, one spot away from qualifying in the last qualifiers that happened 2 weeks ago. Can they do it this time around? I'm going to be keeping my eyes on them to see if they can pull it off.
They're definitely a fan favorite, and like you said, they tried to qualify in qualifier number 1. It was really close, but now this is their second chance. But it is also the last chance for Season 1. Let's go ahead and give you guys a breakdown of how the league works, at least from the qualifiers to league play. So 8 teams qualified through the open tournament. Those 8 teams will be invited, and we have 8 teams seeded through invitation. So the 8 teams that were invited are Fulcrum Gaming, Simp Mop4, Turtle Police, Pub Stars, Strike White May, Wreak Havoc, and Simple Tankers. So 4 have already made it through the open qualifier via qualifier number 1. Those 4, River of Blood, Cazadores, Cunninghams, formerly known as More Golds, and Scurry Hard. There will be 3 weeks of league matches beginning July 11th, and the Season 1 finals will take place August 17th and 18th with a $100,000 prize pool at the finals. The finals will be taking place in Las Vegas. You want to mark this on your calendar. You want to go to this event because it's definitely going to be an amazing time.
Not only are we giving away so much money to these competitors, but we're also giving away a ton of gold. To you guys watching out there, there are little packages that we've prepared for you guys, premium for 7 days and 2,000 gold. All you have to do is go ahead and communicate with us. Reach out to us on not only our Twitter, but also our Facebook. Twitter.com/WGLNA and Facebook.com/WGLNA. Tell us what your favorite tank is, what you like to do, how you like to pub stomp, and we just might pick you out. And you'll win that awesome package. Who wouldn't love to win premium and gold, man?
Everyone would love to win, and we actually were able to select a lot of winners last night. Let's go ahead and go over the rule set right now of how the league play works and what the broadcast is going to be like tonight. 7 players per team, 42 tier points per team, meaning that the top team, or the top tier for the tanks is 8. And you have to add up to 42 tier points. So, for example, you could have 5 tier 8 tanks and 2 tier 1 tanks. Each match is a best of 5, and all draws are replayed. A draw can work when there is not an 8-point difference. For example, if you have an engagement that happens and they still have a difference of 3 points, 4 points, 5 points between what tanks have been destroyed, it still counts as a draw. It has to be an 8-tier difference. And at the very end of the matches, we've seen a lot of crazy engagements, and sometimes we have to double-check and make sure, okay, who actually won there because we have to count up the tier points. But it's that makes it for fantastic, engagements and fantastic captures as well. As we've seen a lot of teams try to go in for that last capture.
We're actually almost ready for our next match, but let's go ahead and look at what we have for tonight. Four matches in total tonight. First one is Nerve versus Warriors of Honor. We saw both of these teams from the last qualifier and this qualifier. Catfast Nation versus Refuse to Die. For our third match of the night, we have Fates Chosen versus Simplistic, and Relic Spurglors versus Ermagerd Kernavern.
Such a crazy name. We call it EC for short. Let's actually show off the rosters, what we have for Nerve first if we can. We have playing for this team Hornsby, Red Paradise, LT Carter, Psycho Killa, Train Noob, Explosive Brutality, Independent, Gen Scout, Ratzilla, and Nervy. Now, how this works as well for qualifying and also for the league play, you can have a roster total of 10 players. 7, of course, are going to be ones that are playing. Let's go ahead and jump into Warriors of Honor. These are the guys that played that we saw broadcasted last night as well. T1 Firefly, P45 Tiger, Driver 69, White Wolf 75, Mad Dog 42, True Mush, The Monkey Man, Riker 10, SG 51, and Raw Dog 1. And also, Greetor, we should have a highlight showcasing some of the play that we saw of Warriors of Honor. We'll go ahead and play that as soon as we can make it ready. But these guys, again, last chance for Season 1 to make it into league play.
That's right, and as I said, we saw both of these teams a little bit earlier. Nerve lost 3-0 to River of Blood in the first qualifiers. Of course, we know River of Blood to be a very aggressive, powerful team. They already qualified, so we're definitely going to look forward to that. But the other team, Warriors of Honor, we saw them just yesterday.
We did. Let's go ahead and play this highlight showing off some of the different tactical engagements they had against Forever Victory. This was a crazy 3-0 game here. But as you can see, communication between the teams, using that cover, swinging around that T69, and getting those shots on that flank was vital on this map. And you'll see that a lot in these teams, especially moving into league play, how well they coordinate, how well they move in on the different approaches of where their enemies are located.
And even though they were able to 3-0 their opponents, I still feel like Nerve has a good chance against them. Warriors of Honor definitely shown to be not as experienced as some of the other teams, but obviously showing a little bit more experience than others. Still, I'm looking forward to see this first match, as it will be played on Mines. Now, of course, that's a lot different than Ensk, but still a lot of similarities at the same time.
That's right. Let's go ahead and jump into the tank selection screen as we can see what different tanks have been chosen so far between these two different teams. And right now on Team 1, we have a T69, a T1, an IS-3, a T1, an AMX 1390, an AMX 5100, and a T69. IS-3 is an interesting choice, especially last night we saw how well the T32s were used in one of the engagements, using those heavier tanks that have kind of more of the absorption. T32s definitely with the turret armor that it has, the IS-3 with its angled armor allowing itself to absorb a lot of those shots. Looking forward to see how that's going to be used in this type of map.
Yeah, just to let you guys know, Team 1 is Nerve, Team 2 is Warriors of Honor. We're going to kick things off with match number 1. I am so excited. This is the round of 8, ladies and gentlemen. That means if you win your match, you are on to the tournament. That's going to start on July 11th. Be sure to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Top 16 teams in North America. We're going to start it off on Mines. Beautiful Mines it is, and we always have our good old friend Rootkill, the resident expert of World of Tanks in all things considered, to break it down. What's going on? What are the movements?
All right, so right now I'm seeing from Warriors of Honor, it looks like they're going to push towards the island, the water side, the west. And from Nerve, it looks like they're going to go very standard and push towards the hill. I see a medium and a light tech already booking it up there. So it's going to be an interesting matchup where we'll have east side control out of Nerve, west side control out of Warriors of Honor. And when we actually have some lights coming up, we have 2 tanks from Warriors of Honor already lit, so Nerve knows what's going on. They already see what Warriors of Honor is doing, so I expect to see some interesting changes to their setup right now.
All right, well, a couple of balances already starting off here. The IS-3 being played by P45 Tiger was able to dodge a couple of shots from that center, but inevitably they will take some damage. Still, they do have island control. Meanwhile, of course, we have Nerve taking the center, and normally we always see contestation of that center control, but this is actually the first game from both qualifiers that we've seen a team really just completely give it up.
Yeah, Mad Dog 42 taking some more damage himself along with Tiger. Now Ruko, I'm sure, is very excited because he loves to go water side on this map, but the HP pool right now suffering a bit for Warriors of Honor up against Nerve. Nerve trying to lock down any type of movement from that water side. At the same time, Red Paradise up on the hill has taken a little bit of damage in his AMX 1390, but still being able to control that section and being able to scout any place possible from the higher ground is going to be pretty important. And looking at the other tanks that are chosen here, we have a low T-32, Tiger 2 as well, a King Tiger, SG-51 choosing that with incredible firepower, VK-4502, a T-1, and the Tractor, Tractor has been taken down already. First blood does go to Nerve against Warriors of Honor here. Different tank selection than we see the majority of a lot of these matches in the esports pro scene. Doesn't necessarily say it's bad, just saying that it's different, because having different strategies is very, very important here when more of these teams are being exposed.
You can definitely see the island coming to hurt Warriors of Honor a little bit. There's a lot of places that they have to defend against. And yes, there is cover, but once you take cover, there's another area that is a little bit open. They're able to get pot shots. Of course, Nerve is doing a great job at taking advantage of this. They have that map control. You can see how they're split up. They're kind of surrounding the island to where they always have that shot.
And there goes the Tiger.
Goes. Tiger 2, played by SG-51, is going to be taken out by that T-69, played by Ratzilla.
And that's a big, big victory right now for Nerve at this time, because it means they do have the tier 8 point differential, which means they don't have to really engage now. They can completely sit out their opponent. But they want to be completely sure for this victory because everything is on the line. They're going to continue firing here and taking down the even more tanks at the same time. SG-51 is down, Mad Dog 42 is down. Firefly less than half health. He's getting lit up. He goes down as well. Only one tank remains.
Triple tap, man. Triple tap. IS-3 is going to take out, played by Independent, is going to take Firefly in that low. And you can see the island control, they didn't do anything with it. You don't want to just camp out here and stay here. You got to move on to the island, actually. Nerve's going to take the win and wrap things up for our battle number 1. But Clutch, I mean, let's talk a little bit about this. When you have, I kept calling it the island, but it's really the lighthouse. When you have lighthouse control, don't get me wrong, it has good shots against the middle, but if you're not really going to contest middle, you have to keep moving on.
Yeah, it does have a bit of a good view range and a couple rock outpost areas that do allow some coverage. We saw at the T-32, but it's not very ideal, especially with the amount of fire they receive. You've got to move forward, one of the mantras of Rookkill here, and continue to push down from the lighthouse to the south of the island, and then make that eastern push a bit. And yes, you're going to have to use that kind of indented valley type cover. They will have the high ground for a while, but once you get past that area where the hill is, you can use the cover that's available in that section to stop that crossfire and to try to flank and push against the flag to get them away from the hill. Of course, that's an ideal scenario, but that's what they should have done in this setup. I think they were caught off guard with the amount of fire that Nerve was able to pound against them, and it was very, very impressive first off.
That's the thing. Nerve identified so fast exactly what Warriors of Honor were doing. And once they see, okay, you're going for the lighthouse, I know you're going to be over there, what are the main things I have to worry about? And that's normally the split push. You have some capping and some defending capping. But how they positioned it, they were able to surround, stop any aggression from going on into the island, and from there, it's just a matter of time. They're going to have the better shots. They're going to have the better capabilities of taking out HP, and of course, Nerve would take it. Rookkill, what are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, so I went and telestrated a little bit already for you guys to try and give you, to detail what was right and wrong with this. Now, Warriors of Honor went out to the lighthouse, one of the 2 waterside islands that one of them's not truly an island, but I call them that, so I just get away with that. They went out there and grouped up, found some decent rocks and took cover, but because they were spotted out, Nerve decided they would get into various positions to fire on them. And you see the 3 heavies in F4, E4, and D5 all had great shots onto at least one of those heavies behind one of those rocks. And then in the south, in H4, you had the 5100 that started flanking. Now, from these 4 separate positions I've detailed, you had fire on at least one of those tanks. There was nowhere to hide for at least someone. So there was constantly fire going out from, and guess what was even worse? You had this huge water area that is just not land that you can cross. That is all water. You slow your tank down. You can't break out of a surround.
That's right.
So what happened was Warriors of Honor got themselves into kind of a hole, and they just kept digging.
Right. Absolutely. And I have to feel like they had to move from there a little bit faster, or they have to be a little bit more silent going over to that lighthouse area. Because once you're spotted, 2, 3, 4 tanks over there, it's like, okay, I know what you're doing. I know where to focus. I know how to take the map. and it was all downhill from there. So unfortunate for Warriors of Honor, but I'm looking forward to see what they can pull off in battle number 2.
That's right. This is a best of 5, so still anybody's game, and we'll continue with battle number 2. We come back. Welcome back to WGLNA. We just finished battle number 1 of match number 1, about ready to get into battle number 2 of Nerve versus Warriors of Honor. Shout out to Conflict, one of the most vocal members of the World of Tanks community in North America. He was asking, when is Nerve going to be broadcast? Well, guess what, Conflict? Tonight your dreams come true, because so far they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, definitely so, and they took a pretty easy game number 1 or battle number 1. They are the big favorites, I think, going into this match. And a lot of people would say, oh, even looking at the tank picking, you would say, okay, well, Nerve has a pretty big advantage, but a lot of it comes down to how well you play your tanks. Even if you get, let's say, a far inferior tank, I've been in situations where I'm playing my AMX-40 and I'm still getting kills.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the tank selection screen right now. The map is going to be Ruinberg. And on Team 1, the AMX 5100 has been chosen, as well as a T1, an IS-3, another Tier 1 Cunningham, an IS-3, an AMX 5100, and a T-69. T-69s, again, some of the pros say they're phasing the T-32s out in favor of the T-69s because of the autoloader functionality. However, using the T-32s, there's no cons to playing the T-32s.
Zero cons.
Zero cons.
Especially on a map like Ruinberg, but we're going to have to look at the starting locations. I didn't actually get a glimpse or didn't look to see what's going on. Actually, we're going to look at it right now as Team Blue, Warriors of Honor, has chosen to get the south side. A little bit interesting. Normally when you pick Ruinberg, you go for the north side since the proximity to the Delta Village is a little bit closer. Oh, I was looking at my screen.
No, it's fine. I was listening intently. But let's go ahead and show everybody what Ruinberg looks like.
Crow, give me the bird. Did we pass it? There we go.
That's pretty cool.
Amazing camera work done by Frodan to give us his map intros.
Best Scout NA.
All right, Rookil, break down what's happening in the first couple moments here.
All right, so from the north side, we are seeing Nerve, I believe, going right into the city. And we see from the south a similar movement with 4 tanks, leaving 1 medium in K6. So I'm pretty sure we'll see some kind of fight if... no, wait, never mind. Looks like Warriors of Honor is actually going to take up a very defensive position in J1-2, so we might see a bit of a delay.
While we have a little
any
bit
fights.
of time now, let's go ahead and go over the tank picks really quickly. Everything's just picked out. As you can see, the IS-3s are something that we should definitely focus on as we move into the city. 2 IS-3s for Nerve, I believe. Yes, Nerve.
Yep.
And only a single IS-3 for Warriors of Honor.
And more shots fired coming across here. White Wolf 75, first one down, first blood. Down a scout, down a T1. Not good for Warriors of Honor, since they will use those scouts in any type of scenario to try to pick and place where their enemy is going to be, different paths they can take, and also, as we have seen in different engagements, they can put some pressure on the flag cap. Now, actually, one of the T1s on the side of Nerve is staying back towards his own base to cover the eastern section above the northwest side of that TIE fighter placement, as you guys can see on the map. And the map is split in half. You know, you have more of an open area on the east side and the city side on the
Makes
west.
a lot of sense because normally you have your opponent's C1s that are going to go and try capping, just displacing units and, of course, being a little bit troublesome. But now, no longer can that happen because there is a T1 back there. You can easily just pen a fellow T1 and reset the cap if anything like that happens. Whoa! Psycho Killa going to be taken out over here, so Tier 1s are going to trade out after about 2 minutes of just shadow boxing from these two players.
But now we have shots fired from Trained Noob and Explosive Brutality. They have discovered their enemies in their far back position and are backing off now after a few shots fired. And actually, P45 Tiger took one good hit. He's down to 12-15.
Yeah, he's about 75% hit points there, Rookil. T1 Firefly trying to use those keyhole positions at that time in front of those bombed out buildings. Too bad the Air Force couldn't stay around to take down the rest of the enemy tanks here in this city. But that's probably why they call it Ruinberg, because most of this town is in complete ruins except for that church. Luckily enough, he was able to survive. And at that church, we'll see a number of the teams of Nerve holding down on those IS-3s and taking a little bit of a point here with the AMX 5100's T69 on the other AMX 5100 to the rear at this time. Those IS-3s taking that point again can get some more absorb shots against that armor, while the AMX 5100s can move out into better positions on the flanking side. And they're going to do so at this time, moving past the church. Either going to stay in that approach. No, they're going to continue into the alleyway here and move down. Mad Dog 42 is spotted at this time. SG 51 as well, moving into a different area. The Monkey Man and the Keyhole himself in the T32 trying to line up any type of engagement he can. Tiger taking shots against Rats at this time. Independent trying to move in against any kind of flank. He's not going to be able to get a position here. And Red Paradise trying to work with his battle buddy to share that HP and to share that firepower. Lands another shot against the IS-3 against Tiger.
Explosive Brutality is going to take a couple of hits here from Firefly. Very nicely done, followed up by that T32. Monkey Man is going to connect. MX 5100 gets picked off. Very nice. Ratzilla only 644 hit points, but here come the artillery. Well, not the actual artillery. IS-3s are going to
the mobile artillery, indeed. That's what tanks are, man.
And this is bad. SG 51 needs to get over here ASAP while his friends are just getting torn up. Down goes Firefly.
Well, SG-51 is able to try to get some shots to the rear. Mad Dog 42 and that T-69 is in a bad spot since they can get in that keyhole position and shoot him right through. But he is a lower profile tank. No! Gets the kill right through that keyhole. Nice shot. SG-51, only one left alive here for Warriors of Honor. He's going to have to back up and hope for the best. And the best right now is going to be a swift death, it looks like, because Nerve has so many tanks and so much firepower ready to enlist pain upon that T-34-2. Red Paradise now moving into the IS-3, going to turn this corner, lock in a shot, and take it. He gets hit himself, tracked a bit. Oh, shot actually misses. He's going to line it up, AMX 5100. He's going to go for the ram. Right into it. He actually gets killed.
You can't ram something like that. I mean, those AMXs are super kicker thin, but boom goes the dynamite. IS-3 played by Red Paradise, going to take him out. And we have ourselves a 2-0 lead for Team Red. Of course, Nerve is going to take it. So when we look at that, I mean, SG-51, he was super far out of position. I understand what he was trying to do. I was in his eyes for most of the game. And I was saying, okay, what are you trying to do? He's trying to sweep the the eastern village a little bit and then collapse inside, maybe get that extra flank, get that crossfire. All of a sudden, he has nice shots in his opponents. But when it came down to it, as soon as they realized, or they didn't even realize it, I don't think, they didn't spot him at all. They just pulled the trigger, and it's 4v5. What can you do? Yeah,
there was full frontal assault commitment is what we saw from Nerve. And that's what you need in any type of engagement, but especially in these urban-type maps. Because there's so much cover available, there's so much bottleneck effects that happen that you have to completely commit, because if you get stuck, if you get tracked and you're halfway through an alley, 4 or 5 tanks are going to pop around that corner and light you up. Now, using those IS-3s, being the point mans around that church, having that buddy system, that HP share system, and then the AMX 5100s moving in, once they saw the low, it's on its own, they went on for the pounce, got the kill, and they used to do that for the rest of the tanks.
That's right. And Rootkill, here's, well, what do we have?
Yeah, I've decided to draw you another little picture. This is the perfect way.
Anyway, we're going to go into our third and potentially final battle of this match. Who's going to take it? Is it Nerve or Warriors of Honor? We're going to see on Himmelsdorf.
All right, Rootkill, break down what's happening in the first couple moments of the movement between these two teams.
Yes, all right. So right now, as I see it, in the south from Nerve, it looks like we're going to see a very standard split. Tanks going off towards Tank Alley, towards the mid to cover across, and possibly down to cover the 3 lines. So that is what I'm seeing out of those teams. And from Warriors of Honor, it looks like we might see something down Tank Alley. It looks like they're staying together, grouped up. First tanks are spotted. And yes, there's the corner, and we'll see the rest group up following his teammate in just a moment.
Shots fired. P-54 Tiger has been hit. 10-12 HP out of 1,500. That's a big hit, about 60% left on his tank. However, Firefly in the low, Riker in the Tiger 2, and the Monkey Man in the T-32 are going to push along with the rest of the team here in the T69, they're going to push Tank Alley, and this is going to be quite an aggressive play from Warriors of Honor. They know this is it. This is their last chance to qualify, and they are down 2 battles. If they lose, they're done until Season 2. And they're going to first approach Luchero in the IS-3. He's going to hit Tigerfly first on the side. Riker 10 trying to get some land hits as well, but he's taking a lot of damage himself, down 50% of this time. Monkey Man, the T-32, and P-54, and then IS-3 moving across that alley as Firefly tries to get some shots against Independent. Luchero is in a bit of trouble here, but he's able to hold his own in that IS-3 against Riker at this time.
Luchero is really nicely positioned. I love how he's getting in there, making sure that he can dodge and ricochet a lot of shots. The AMX 5100 still coming around to flank. And that low,
flank.
He's out of place. Firefly, watch your behind because you are getting crushed.
Ratzilla moving with Trey Noob. One more shot. Firefly is going to go down. Waiting for it. There he goes. P-54 Tiger himself taking some hits in the IS-3. AMX 5100s have zero cares right now, mopping up everything on the blue side. Luchero staying alive in the IS-3 with only 343 hit points left. That L Tractor, Trumarsh still barely staying alive, and now it's the push, the March of Doom from Nerve. IS-3 Independent has taken some hits himself. Mad Dog 42 and the Monkey Man T-32. It could be a brawl between Independent and these two tanks. Monkey Man takes a hit himself. Independent is one shot down. One shot and he will go down. Psycho Killer trying to keep the T-32 distracted, saving his teammate. Explosive Brutality moves in for the kill against the other T-69.
Yeah, here the AMX 5100s are though, and this is really scary. T-32 trying to get a shot on someone, but they just keep moving around outside of his range, and it's really unfortunate. He is completely surrounded. Down, the T-32 will go, not before a T1 is taken out, of course. But it's all a matter of time. T1 White Wolf is over in the corner as well. And they're just toying with, they're reloading. That's what's happening.
They're reloading. They're also reveling in the victory. Nerve is one of the qualified teams that will make it to league play. A huge congratulations to them. They will be going up against the likes of Fulcrum Gaming, Simp, Mop 4, River of Blood, and others. And they have a piece. They could have a piece at the $100,000 prize pool.
That's right. I mean, really, really fantastic play by Nerve. Just 1, 2, 3 hit him out of the park. They're going to take it. As you can see, we have 3 more matches coming to you after this, so make sure you stay tuned. But so far, the 5 that have qualified it, not only last qualifier, but this qualifier, River of Blood, the Cunninghams, a.k.a. More Gold, Cazadores, Scurry Hard, and, of course, Nerve.
Yep. And it's only been match number 1, folks. Match number 2 is going to be started here in just a bit. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but before we do, make sure to follow us on Twitter at WGLNA. And also, we're going to have a fun little contest for tonight. If you can tell us where the hidden Wargaming pin is located on Rookkill, we'll give you some gold. We'll be back in just a little bit.